Am I? Okay. Well, good morning. Unity in the Gold Country, here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Hi, all of you near and far. It's always so good to see everyone, isn't it? What a great morning it is. And I especially want to welcome any new visitors to our congregation. It's always beautiful to see new shining faces, and we always see that inner light that you hold. So thank you so much for being here. So let's begin by lighting our Christ candle. And for those of you on Zoom, if you have a candle at home, why don't you light it now? And I think I'll light ours as well. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence in us and as us, as the creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine, expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We also acknowledge this presence in our companion, Mother Earth, and in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. And we are all lighting our candles as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in each present now moment. It is the truth. Let us embrace it. So now let's stand and sing with our beautiful Angela and Gabriel on the piano. Our first song. Yeah, let's lay our burdens down. I think we can all get behind that.
Feel better, so much better, since I laid those burdens down. I feel better, so much better, since I laid those burdens down. Feel like shouting, hallelujah, since I laid those burdens down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid those burdens down.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome again. Hi, Zoom. We were just channeling our inner Pentecostal. That's about as Pentecostal as we get. Just for the newcomers, in case you're wondering. So I was beginning to wonder if there was a memo or something that there was no service this morning, because there was like 4 people here 5 minutes ago. So thank you all who showed up. So I want to start with a piece called Holding Space. We've been talking about this a lot. I gave a talk one Sunday, and we had a whole questionnaire that we filled out about holding space. And it says, I am holding space for a new me to emerge. I've accepted the invitation to renovate little old me. I'm pushing back the walls, raising the roof to make room for a larger spirit in myself. Yes, indeed, I am taking measure of my fears, looking them straight in the eye and saying, oh, I see you. I notice you lurking there inside the shaded hidey holes and hiding places that shun the light. But the jig is up. There is a new day dawning, and I intend to set you free. Old fear, recent anxiety, new tremble in my voice. We are going to be transformed. Woohoo! Let the good times roll. Come on over here. Come out of your hiding place and tell me all about it. Be brave. Come out of your hiding place. Take the first step to become something else, something stronger that can breathe and expand out in the daylight. Oh, and in addition, I am holding space for a new you to emerge also. I don't want you to be left behind. That wouldn't be any fun. Let's do this together. If I face my fears, will you do it too and face your fears? If I admit my anxiety, will you admit to yours? And we can both grow into our possibilities. Let's clear our chakras and get those vocal cords aligned into a strong voice that speaks the truth, our truth. And I'm also holding space for a new humanity to emerge. Well, it just can't be me or only you and me. I mean, we're all in this together, right? We are not going to let this virus shut us down and cramp our style, because we are spiritual beings, renovating our way into a whole new way of being, a new me, a new you, a new humanity, and a brave new world. The script is in place. We just need to play our parts. Who knows? We might just go and win ourselves a pandemic. So that's really where we're at, folks. We're on the cusp of a brave new world. We have to believe that. Things are not just falling apart. Something is emerging. We know that from the cocoon and the butterfly. So we have to bring this optimism about ourselves, each other, and humanity as well. And as we do so, we enter into prayer, as always, at this time. And as we do so, we have a collective time of knowing and sharing for one another, where we open not to what we already know about ourselves, but to what can be. And as we pray for these people, that's what we're praying for who and what they can become. And so we start our slides of the prayers. We begin by praying for Linda Bohr, for Nathan Michael Brown, who died recently, for his family, for Bob Castro, who is on hospice, for Dale Frank on hospice, for Charlie and Will McBride, for Judy Cornell, for Laurie, on the passing of Kalyani's mom and for Kalyani and family. Healing prayers for N. Marie Jaggi, for Denise Mozzetti and family, special intention for young family, John and Claudia Martin, Dennis and Penny Matthews, Kayla, for Andy Holman, who passed just in the last few days, for his family, and for Larry and Carolyn, for Paxton Baker, Dane DeGrasse, John Miller, Yvonne Bartlett, and Tiffin Dillon. For who else do we pray at this time, if you would like to say their names out loud? For Helen Simcox, Mary Clear. And we pray as always together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. And so we listen now to the daily word for today, read to us by Christy.
I don't know how many of you read the daily word already, but I found it interesting. The heading was Let Go and Let God. Pretty relevant today, right? And the subheader is Divine Love, Wisdom, and Understanding Express Through Me. So let's affirm that together. Divine love, wisdom, and understanding express through me. If I feel unsure of the next step in any situation, I let go and let God. I don't walk away from difficulty or try to force resolutions. Instead, I release my tight mental grip on problems and open myself to solutions. I let go of my ego's desire for control and my need to bring about specific outcomes. I believe there are solutions and remedies beyond what my mind can conceive. I yield to possibility. I trust the indwelling divine presence, just as I would trust a mentor. Letting go and letting God means creating space for the dynamic, creative energy of spirit to inspire and surprise me. Divine love, wisdom, and understanding fuel my thoughts, express through my words, and guide me in all ways. And from Psalms 86:11, teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to revere your name. That's a beautiful daily word for today. Wow. And I find it interesting, Jerry and I don't coordinate really normally before, so I write a meditation and he's doing his service, and I'm always shocked at how Spirit is sending us similar messages. So there's this open channel, this two-way communication going on, as we know, between us and Spirit. So, dearest Unity friends, and all you on Zoom Unity friends, let's enter this time of meditation together as we relax and release any tensions held in the body and mind. I've been talking to people in the congregation who've had tension manifesting in different ways. So tension can manifest as headaches that just keep coming up, or anxiety in the belly, lack of life force energy or motivation, and even impatience or irritation at all the lines everywhere, in the post office, in the highway, in the store, in many parts of our lives. So let's release this tension now. Begin by getting comfortable in your chair. Just wiggle around if you need to till you feel really comfortable. If it feels right to you, close your eyes. So you're going within as you close your eyes. And take several slow, deep breaths, allowing the lungs and the belly to expand with every inhalation. And with every exhalation, allowing tension to release a bit more. From the feet, the ankles, and the calves. From the thighs, the hips, and the belly. Just let that belly go. From the chest and the heart, we just feel it opening. Feel the shoulders drop. The arms, the neck, the face, even the scalp starting to relax. Now with inner eye, look within the head region. Is there tension in your mind? Anything slowing the flow of light impulses in the brain or consciousness? Let's partner with the mind of God to release any tension and relax fully into trust. So gently tapping above your eye. Just start gently tapping above your eye. As you say with me, I see you, tension. I see you. The tapping is quite important as we stimulate acupuncture points. It moves the body's energy. So we tap above the eye. I see you, tension. I see you. And then we tap to the side of the eye. I sense you in my mind. I sense you. I feel you. And then under the eye. Thank you for trying to protect me, to manage the situations in my life. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you. And then gently tapping your heart. I love and accept you, tension. I love and accept you. And I love and accept myself. Let's tap that in a while. I love and accept myself. And now, if we raise our hands over our head with your middle finger, your fire finger, up to God, and trusting your healer within and without, we call upon dearest eternal Christ presence, Holy Fire, Holy Spirit, brothers and sisters of the light. We ask for your partnership, your assistance to fully release tension in the mind. And just allow this Christ energy to flow into your hands and into your heart fully. Then gently move your hands to the head region and allow this Christ energy to flow. Dearest tension, any darkness, I release you from your assignment. I release you from your assignment. From any need to control my life. I let go and let God. I let go and let God. I allow the free flow of light, love, and divine awareness to fully move throughout my whole being. And now gently placing your fingers onto your scalp and envisioning flow of light moving out your fingers like lasers of the mind of God. As we say, I welcome the penetrating light of the Christ mind to dissolve any attachment to tension, density, or unconsciousness that limit access to higher mind. And this is an important one. As we allow this Christ energy to flow, I see my entire being illuminated by the light of God. I let go and let God fully embody as me. Say that to yourself. I let go and let God's radiance fully embody as me. And just allow that embodiment to occur. And now returning hands to your lap. Let's seal this embodiment of light by immersing in the holy waters of our divine Earth Mother. Feel yourself sinking into her ocean of holy love. Feel her sparkling, shimmering water of harmony flowing through your being. Kind of allow yourself to sway with her currents and her gentle waves of liquid compassion. And rest here a while in her healing waters, held in her golden arms, or swimming with the dolphins through her deep. Expanding into her golden aura. We see our embodiment sealed and whole. And we give thanks for the divine assistance ever flowing to us, to the earth, and to all of creation as we evolve ever more faithfully into the light workers, way showers, earth protectors, and light workers we embodied here to be. And so it is. Amen.
That was beautiful. Thank you. So now we have another song from Gabriel and Angela, Everything I Need to Know.
Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me, everything I need to do about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need for peace about what lies before me, everything I need for peace about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me, everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.
So my talk title today is Brave New World. That's the far left on we have the earpiece on. Okay, change plan. Back to the podium. As I was saying, before I so rudely interrupted myself, my talk title today is A Brave New World. And yes, indeed, synchronicities are everywhere, aren't they? You'll see that when you hear my talk and put that next to the meditation and to the invocation at the beginning. If we're paying attention, synchronicities are everywhere right now. And just a slice out of my own life and Dennis's life recently, I did an invocation on September 5th that was all about transforming pain and suffering into prayers for ourselves, our families, and our friends, and indeed the world. And then the following Sunday, the 12th, suffering showed up for me 15 minutes before the service began when I learned of the suicide of a family member the day before on 9/11. And so my whole being and soul was just ripped open in pain. Another synchronicity that day was that I had planned not to do a talk. Now, I can look back 15 years and list on one hand the number of times that I didn't give a talk, if we did a video or if we did some kind of practice. So it was really interesting that that's what I had planned for that day, to show a video montage of Nightbird from America's Got Talent. And that was a real blessing, because if I had had to give a talk that day, I would have been a mess. I would just not have been able to do it, I don't think. But the universe, in its wisdom, had set things up the way it did. And so I got to practice what I had preached the previous Sunday about how to transform suffering into prayer. See, I was in sync with the universe. The universe said, hey, Jerry, it's time for you to take your turn in feeling the deep, deep pain of the world at the moment. And perhaps you've had moments like that in the last year and a half, maybe very recently, where you've been touched very deeply and moved to tears. But instead of it just being a crying about whatever you were thinking about or one particular instance, you suddenly felt as if the pain and suffering of the universe, of the whole world, the collective, suddenly just flooded through you in that moment. When you feel the heaviness, the suffering, and the sadness like that, it is the universe asking you to step up and to play your part right now in transforming things through the alchemy of your heart. And alchemy used to be very popular in the Middle Ages, is the process of taking something and making it into something else. In this case, is taking the residual energy from whatever disturbed you or hurt you or caused you pain and suffering, and filling it with light and love and sending it out then as a blessing to and for the world. Feeling the heavy residual feelings left over from some trauma or hurt. That is a call to service. The highest service, by intending with our thoughts and our words that the heaviness that we are feeling be molded into prayers that bless and heal those affected by everything that we just saw or felt or experienced. In my case that morning, it was just by the shock of the news of suicide. And so we take that energy and we pour our hearts, our love and light into it, and we send out that energy to the quantum field as a blessing for the good of all in a very general way. And as we do so, every time that we experience heaviness, we become co-creators of a new reality and a new way to deal with reality, instead of being someone who tries to escape whatever the circumstances are. We co-create a brave new world where we face our fears, our anxieties, and our pain. And this practice is an entry point into higher consciousness. If we're wondering, how do I lift my consciousness? This is a portal. Therefore, this is a high calling which we and others are being asked to take up at this particular time in the history of the planet. And we know that it's an intense time. I met with a group of ministers last Tuesday, and to a person, everyone said, I'm just exhausted, I'm fatigued, I'm tired. It's really taking a toll. And that's understandable, you know, for people ministering to a whole congregation. But all of us, I think we're all feeling the weight of the times. And so we have to find some way to work with that. We take our suffering and the energetic, emotional material that suffering is made out of, and we reform it into blessings for the world. What a noble service and calling that is. And how fortunate we are able to be able to do that and to be able to see that in this moment, that we're not overwhelmed by everything, but that we have a clarity about, oh, this is how we can do this. It's like we take a piece of crumpled up paper and we mold it into a beautiful piece of origami, a work of art, and we toss it into the quantum field with the intention that it go and bless wherever blessings are needed. We just send healing, light, and love from our hearts to whoever and wherever needed. So let's just stop for a moment and acknowledge the tremendous power that we have to make this choice, to live this way, and to respond in this way. We are powerful spiritual beings. You will hear me say that all the time. And we are so needed in this time. We know that. We can also acknowledge then that if we are suffering greatly with everything that's happening, that we have great power to bring about much good for ourselves and others through turning that great pain and suffering into great blessings. Our suffering these awful events doesn't have to disempower us or daze us. Yes, it can really knock us off track in the moment, but we can get back on track. And it can be an entryway into real spiritual power and experience. If there's lots of suffering around us, it just means there are lots of prayers that can be sent out by us as blessings, and that we have been given a great opportunity. The universe is blessing us abundantly with opportunities to be a blessing. I think we can say that. And that's how we will become spiritual masters. And maybe you've never thought of yourself as that, or that that's what you're becoming, but you are. Look back 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Haven't you grown into a powerful spiritual being? And so this is a call to action. And let's be frank here. Do you think that the intensity of these times is going to end anytime soon or suddenly? It doesn't look like it, does it? There's a lot that needs to be changed yet. So let's get busy. Let's get armed with the power that is at our disposal. The power to be an alchemist. Turning hatred or anger into forgiveness is an alchemy. I would imagine that with everything that's gone on politically and medically and all the rest over the last year and a half, haven't we had lots of opportunities to turn anger and hatred and frustration into forgiveness? And is there an old resentment or hurt that you've been dragging around with you like a big sack of coal for some time? Maybe now is the time you want to transform it into a blessing for yourself and others. Turning frustration and disappointment into a blessing, that in itself is a spiritual practice, and we can take that on. Just shows you how amazing, awesome, and outrageous we really are as spiritual beings when we put our minds and our hearts into it. And so as we embody this practice, what do you think will be the outcome? How will that change or influence your life? You will become strong, you will become courageous, you will become a light to others who will see how you're managing all of this. You'll become a curiosity for them, and they will want to be like you. Lots of people today want to be an influencer. All of the young people want to be influencers online. They want to be paid for being influencers, promoting this, canceling that, effecting change, and affecting how people think and live. Working as an alchemist in this way that we are talking about is to be an energetic and spiritual influencer. Yes, you can be an influencer. You don't need to be on the net, on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, you can do that in the privacy of your own little meditation space. Want to be a spiritual influencer? Drop your burdens and turn them into blessings. We can change the balance of things energetically to influence the way that people are able to withstand the outrageous things that are going on around us. So would you like to be a spiritual influencer? Of course you would. That's why you came here. Wouldn't you like to be able to withstand and repurpose the energy of the collective for yourself, first of all, for your family, your friends, Unity community, and for the world? Of course you would. And we can be so grateful for the knowledge of how to do this, how to be an alchemist. We can practice gratitude even now, before the change shows up and the transformation happens. That's a big, strong unity practice that we have. That is being grateful now, before we see whatever it is that we intend or desire. So thank you, personal sorrow, emotional heaviness, familial baggage, ancestral stuff, for reminding me of my highest purpose. Not as something to escape from, not to be used as a way to judge myself or a burden to carry, but instead to recognize it as emotional, energetic clay, spiritual clay, a reminder that I always have this power to mold and to reshape suffering into blessings that serve the highest good of all. Thank you, Afghanistan, for showing us where the divine feminine is still being suppressed and giving us a focal point where our light of transformation can be sent and directed. Thank you, hurricanes, for inviting our light and focus to assist in the reconstruction of so many people's lives. Thank you for giving us greater purpose, and giving greater purpose to the emotional disturbance and trauma that we experience. Instead of holding it heavily in our hearts, we are able to reform it into blessings for all those who have been displaced, hurt, or harmed by flood, fire, or whatever. Thank you for the opportunity to uphold the place of the divine feminine in our world, whose energy supports, enhances, and values the place of compassion, care, kindness, justice, and dignity for all people and all creation. Thank you, COVID surge, for helping on an existential level to awaken our society and all of us out of a dream of being self-obsessed and self-indulgent, and through the power of our blessings to create this new brave world as a conscious, caring world that it was always meant to be. And thank you to all who I bless and serve for inspiring me to bless on a more regular and active basis, and for showing me such insurmountable levels of suffering, and pulls all the despair out of my heart to be recreated as blessings, offering me the gift to contribute to the lives of others in such a powerful way. Thank you to all who I serve, to all the density I carry, to all density that I mold into blessings, and for all that I have the honor of transforming through the blessings I send out. And thank you, universe, for bringing me ample proof and evidence that all my blessings are real and they're substantial, yielding tangible results and evidence of how powerfully lifetimes of inner despair have now been transmuted, recreated as building blocks for a new humanity, and sent out to bless all who are ready to awaken and to receive, to be the light. Thank you, universe, for showing me how emotional heaviness is not a reason for me to blame myself or to find some fault, but simply the amount of blessings, prayers, affirmations, and intentions that I'm now learning to create for everyone. That's the only reason we're suffering. Thank you, beloved universe, for teaching me how to co-create, how to use my sufferings as blessings for others, knowing those who suffer are merely healers in training who haven't yet remembered or understood how to use the pain in their lives to transform themselves and others. It is those healers in training that we serve this morning. And paradoxically, in serving their healing, it's we who are set free. Maybe you're finding yourself having this strange sense of freedom in the middle of it all, wondering, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong. You're exactly who and what you're supposed to be. We are not meant to be broken and overwhelmed by all of this. We are meant to grow stronger. So if you are feeling that inner calm and peace, you're in the perfect place. Because utilizing all the world's pain in this way is indeed loving what is arising. And loving what arises is what is healing the world. And it is how the world is healed by us right now and will be as we go forward, working together, side by side, heart by heart, as one. And so we can look at everything that's going on, the pandemic and politics and the hurricanes and the fires and the global warming. All of that is an alarm clock that alerts us that there's healing to be done. It's our work. Are we listening? And are we waking up to the reality of how we can do this? In doing this work and service, we are the sacred wisdom keepers of unity consciousness, because that is how we create unity consciousness. See, we're not being pulled into the duality. We're able to look at all of this negative energy, and we're able to use it and welcome it and embrace it and transform it. That's unity consciousness. And so we transmute and transform all negativity into positive energy and blessings. Yes, the world is going through a lot right now. Remember that this is the process of ascension. It is not the road to hell. Want to be really a unity minister in these times? Then commit to being an alchemist, turning suffering into blessings for all. And so it is. All right, so we move on to our PowerPoints. And next up is the, yep, that's the one. And we just need to come forward a little bit to our power word for September. Maybe. I think it's yes, the power word for September is order. Understanding divine order, I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. So let's say that and affirm that together. Understanding divine order, I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. Great. And then next up is our offering time. So again, we have a basket at the front and at the back. If you would like to make a contribution, you can always do so through the internet, through PayPal or however. We're grateful for all of your financial support that's kept us thriving over this last period of time. And so our love offering for today is together. My heart is open to receive and grateful for all my good. I give fearlessly and with love. And Angela and Gabriel have another piece of music for us, Fearless.
On the other side of fear, there lies euphoria and a better understanding of who you really are. I'll break the mold set in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. Call me fearless. I am fearless. I'll push outside the comfort zone, remembering I'm not alone. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. Call me fearless. I am fearless.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, we are being called to be fearless at this time. So now we have our announcement time, as always. Just wait for the PowerPoints there to get online. Great. And we have been saying that this year for us is a year of renewal, of transformation, awakening, healing, and wonder. We start our 7-week fall program, our book study, next week. So the first Sunday of the Untethered Soul will be next Sunday, October 3rd. And each Sunday we will follow the book and have a talk based on the materials for that week. And then we have our study groups as well. So if you're interested in being part of a study group, Christy and Patricia are hosting one at their house on Tuesday mornings. No, Wednesday mornings at 10? At 10. And Sandy is willing to host one on Friday mornings at 10. Thursday mornings, I'm really up to date. Here in the Zeal room down here. And then, of course, we have on Tuesday mornings at 10 a Zoom for the spiritual exploration class. We will study the book together. Books are available in the bookstore. This is a book that we did 9 years ago. And I was wondering whether we would have a 7-week program this year or not because of everything. And I thought, well, what would be the book that I would pick? And that's the one that came to mind. And so over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I reread the book and reworked the study guide. And I have to say that this is a book for our times. It's like when I reread it, I was like, I didn't remember half of it. I was thinking, wow, this is a book that could save humanity if everybody would read it and practice what's in there. Because it is so pointed and it's all about, getting out of the story and getting out of the reactivity of our mind to going back and finding the soul in ourselves and everybody else. So if you've never read this book, I would strongly encourage you to do so. And as I said, books are available in the bookstore, and there are guidebooks sitting out also on the front desk if you want to take one. There's a little insert in there that I had to update because the hardback copies don't follow the page numbering, so I had to redo the page numbering. Okay, the Inspiring Women of Unity are taking a little hiatus. They will be back, hopefully fairly soon, as the COVID numbers drop. And then if you're really looking for a way to evolve your spiritual life, volunteering is always good, and we have lots of volunteer positions. So please call Leslie. We recently started 2 new Way of Mastery groups. I think we have almost 40 people between the 2 groups. One is a Zoom at 1 o'clock on Mondays, and one is, at least for now, a Zoom at 6:45 Monday evening. It may become a hybrid. We may eventually meet in here. So if you are also looking for something else, we have The Way of Mastery. This is a book that has really helped a lot of people over the years. And then we have our spiritual exploration this Tuesday at 10 a.m. with Claire Palmerino. And she had a lovely group last week exploring about guides and angels and higher self. So if you're interested in the work of Suzanne Giesman, Sonia Choquette, or Michael Sandler, she will be exploring all of those things. And this is a Zoom group, and all of those links will be sent out tomorrow morning. Our Change for Change for the month of September and October is wildlife rehabilitation and release, which is very timely considering all the fires, etc. So if you have change, you can bring it in, put it in the basket, and it will go to them. And then again, just a little thing here to promote adopting a planter bed or an area outside. If you're interested in doing that, please call Leslie. I think that's it. And just a mention of the beautiful flowers that were prepared this morning by Lita. We're grateful. And to all those who gave their service to make this possible, and for you for being here. So let's stand and we'll say our unity prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well. And so we sing our closing song by Zoom. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my it's growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one soul. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because we choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. We choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. We choose love. We choose love. We choose love. Be brave, be fearless, and make it a great great week.